Assalamu alaikum, ladies. If your husband constantly criticizes you and it's making you feel small, lost, or not good enough, then this video is for you. You are not alone. Many women feel like they're walking on eggshells. A sister messaged me recently complaining about the exact same issue. She said, people look at us and say, MashaAllah, what a lovely couple. But the criticism is on daily basis over various things. She said, the way my husband talks to me, I feel 99.9% of the time is criticism over everyday things. For example, today it was on tea. The color doesn't look correct. And then it was about refilling a hair oil bottle. And he said, I don't know how many times I will have to tell you to refill this bottle before it gets refilled. Ladies, some people don't feel good about themselves unless they put others down. The thing is, if someone is putting you down on a daily basis, the issues are much deeper. It is a sign of insecurity, or it could be some unresolved, deeper marital issues. I often like to say, if the reaction is 7 or above, then it is not about the problem. And what do I mean by that? I mean by that, if we measure the reaction on a timeline from 0 to 10, and we consider 0 to be a very chill reaction, a very calm, pleasant reaction, and consider 10 an explosive reaction to an everyday mundane thing. For example, one time, this lady got in touch with me and she was furious that her husband forgets to put the milk bottle back inside after drinking the milk. This seems like a trivial thing. This doesn't seem that big. So he forgets to put the milk bottle inside. What's the worst that can happen? Either the wife or the kids will put it back, or that particular half-filled bottle might go bad. And if it's happened, it's qadrullah. However, her anger on the issue, she kept on and on about how furious it makes her when she sees her husband forgetting to put the bottle back. Her 9 or 10 explosive reaction told me that there's something much deeper in her marriage. That is not getting resolved. That's why she's getting her frustration out on mundane things. And not long after that, that sister ended up getting a divorce. And subhanAllah, she then confided in me that the issues were much, much deeper than that. So it's usually not the surface level irritants that are causing this reaction. So a real conversation needs to be had about what's triggering that husband underneath all of these pretend problems. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we can't deny that it hurts in the moment to be on the receiving end of that constant criticism. So in this video, I will tell you exactly how to handle criticism on spot in a respectful and elegant way without losing your power, without losing your cool. But before we get into that, I would like to bring to your attention that the disrespect is best to be nipped in the bud in the beginning of the marriage. Some people's way of talking with their friends before marriage is a disrespectful, degrading way of talking, and it's supposed to be informal and fun. However, it is disrespectful. And once they get married, they try that with their wife as well. However, the dynamics are much different here, and respect is the way to go if you want hearts full of love. Let me take you back to a moment that taught me a powerful lesson. One day, my husband and I were sharing a car ride with another couple. They were newlyweds. They were very playful, full of laughter, and teasing each other like best friends. They seemed to be laughing at themselves and each other. I watched them and I thought, wow, what a fun dynamic. Later I told my husband, did you notice how they talked? So light, so fun. That playful teasing must bring so much joy on an everyday basis. He paused and then replied, I love our respectful relationship. I wouldn't change it for anything. Maybe my husband saw something I didn't see, or maybe he just knew something about the couple that I didn't. However, at that time, I remember sleeping, wishing that my husband and I would be able to playfully laugh at each other without any of us taking it seriously. But fast forward a few months later, I sat with that same woman, and she said something I didn't expect. She said, honestly, my husband says such hurtful things. then laughs it off like it's a joke. And I don't even know how to respond anymore. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, so it wasn't fun then, and it did hurt. Or maybe initially it was innocent and fun, but once that door was open, maybe with time, the teasing got bitter and hurtful. I ran home and told my husband that you are right. A relationship that's based on respect is everything. Habibati. This is where many of the ladies go wrong in the early days of their marriage. They mistake disrespectful teasing for fun. They think if they laugh, they're being the cool wife. But when the jokes become jabs, and the jabs start to sting. But here's the good news. It's never too late to reteach someone how to treat you. Regardless of the reason of your husband's criticism and disrespect, here are a few ways to respond to criticism without losing your dignity. You can pick and choose the response that fits well in your situation. Or you can try out different responses at different times and see which one gets you the best results. Right. Number 1, take a pause. Enough to take a deep breath in and out without him realizing. So it should be subtle. And then calmly ask, could you repeat that? You would notice that most often they would refuse to repeat because they realize that they've said a horrible thing. So most men wouldn't say it twice, especially around others. But even if they said it again, you would notice that they might change the wordings a little bit. Or the same toxic energy won't be there. Like they would be much calmer or wishing that they had said it differently. The second way to respond to criticism is to ask about the intent. Say, did you mean to sound upset? Or that sounded a little harsh. Was that your intention? So that gives them a chance to pause and reflect. And they realize that they didn't mean to sound angry. They might respond with something like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to sound angry. Just had a hard day at work. The third way to respond is to get curious. And this works perfectly with passive-aggressive who are not saying something directly, but saying things under their breath to make you feel like they're upset with you, but never mentioning anything directly. For example, your husband is quietly sipping his tea and saying, so incompetent. He's never said it to you, but you both know it's meant for you. So you can get curious. Use gentle questions to diffuse the moment. Say, did I do something to upset you? Or, are you okay? Or, that didn't sound like you. Is there more to that, dear? Tell me about it. This invites connection. Number 4, state your boundary gently. Say, I don't respond to criticism. I respond to kindness. I respond to request. Or you can say, I'm open to feedback, but not to being torn down. And the 5th way is to disarm with femininity. Now this one has an emotional hook. You can say brokenheartedly, how can you speak to me like that when you know how much I love you? It is soft. It pulls on their heartstrings, knowing that, okay, this is my wife and I love her. She loves me. What am I doing? And the last one is to use silence as a response. Just pause. Look at them for 5 to 8 seconds. Now this is long enough to make it uncomfortable. And people don't like silence, especially those who have said a mean thing. It brings them face to face with their meanness. So when you're looking at them with a questioning expression on your face, like, did you actually say that? Or to indicate that you're puzzled that they have said that. So with that kind of look, if you look at them for 5 to 8 seconds, then this silence is very hard for a rude person. After that, you can walk away without dignifying their ugliness with your response. It is important when you're silent that you're looking at them and not deflecting your gaze here and there, because then that indicates moving on. And then he will move on too. But you want them to face what they've actually said. I know it is a little bit intense, but it is really powerful. I'm aware in some cultures, looking at your husband would be considered a sign of disrespect, especially if it comes off as staring. Now, if you're from that culture, then you can silently sit there with periodically looking at them, but don't engage with anything else. Maybe look away, look down, and look at them again, and then look down, and then look at them again. Those are the techniques that actually bring disrespect to an end. Because the disrespect can't continue when you're calm and powerful. It only continues when you respond with anger and disrespect in return, with frustration, anger. Those are the things that keep fueling the disrespect. You know why? Because once they've said a mean thing to you and you've responded in anger, then they feel justified. Their brain goes, wow, she is a mean person. She deserves every negative thing that comes her way. So then they feel justified in saying even more mean things. So responding in anger and frustration and meanness fuels the disrespect. Another thing that fuels it is laughing it off or going along with it. All right, let's recap the solutions. Number 1, pause and repeat request. Please repeat that again. Number 2, call out the intent. Did you mean to come across angry? Number 3, get curious. Are you upset about something? Number 4, state your boundary. I'm open to feedback, but not to being torn down. Number 5, disarm with femininity. How can you say that when you know how much I love you? And number 6, powerful silence. That's it. Please try them out and let me know in the comments which one worked best for you or which one did you like the best. And also, if you have any additional responses that work well in these situations, please mention them below so we can all benefit from them. And if you found any value in this video, please remember to like and subscribe. Lastly, please remember this. Respond with dignity, because your strength is not in how loud you can get. It is in how calm you can remain. You're not asking for perfection. You're asking for basic respect. And that is always worth standing up for. Wassalamu alaikum.